There is an old French adage,
Le plus ça change, le plus ça la même chose.
The truth of this quote resonated with me as I applied it to my maternal family tree and our history of smoking when I read it in an article on e-cigarettes by Thomas Glenn, Ph.D. Nicotine, found in tobacco products and e-cigarettes, is highly addictive, and the commercial tobacco industry continues to push its drug through creative advertising campaigns to hook current and upcoming generations. My relatives were historical victims to these aggressive campaigns. Cigarette smoking was the norm in my family. I remember visiting my maternal grandmother. I can still picture her sitting at her table, smoking Viceroy cigarettes, watching old Western movies. Later memories include visions of her hooked up to an oxygen machine with long plastic tubing. Her body needed to get the clean air it was being deprived of for so many years. I wonder, what influenced a woman from her generation to choose smoking? What was the tobacco industry promoting at that time? What role did my grandmother's smoking play on her children's choices to smoke? I believe all 8 of her children, 5 girls and 3 boys, were smokers at some point in their lives. 2 of the 8 siblings died as young adults. Of the remaining 6, 4 died from cancer. My mother was one of them. Recently, while watching reruns of old movies, I noticed how Katharine Hepburn, Lauren Bacall, and other movie stars held long, slender cigarettes, slightly angled, sending messages to viewers like my mom that you too could be this glamorous. My mother was a beautiful woman. Just last year, her younger sister and I were looking at pictures and reminiscing. After looking at a picture of my mother as a young woman, my aunt commented that she looked like a movie star. I wonder, what influenced a woman from her generation to choose smoking? What was the tobacco industry promoting at that time? If my mother had received education about the dangers of cigarette smoking at a young age, would she have been able to avoid addiction to nicotine and live beyond the age of 66? In 2001, she was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer and ultimately passed from this horrible disease. It was one of the hardest things to spend the last days with her, those 3.5 short months. Smoking was also the norm in my social circle during my influential years. Cigarette commercials continued to fill television screens with advertisements. I remember when I was a teenager and Virginia Slim commercials showed strong, liberated women proclaiming, "You've come a long way, baby." I associated cigarettes with success, and I imagined my life could be like these women. At age 16, I began smoking. Everyone around me smoked, except my sister's boyfriend. He was the one that was abnormal. He had a strong influence on me, which caused me to question my own smoking. What was it doing to my health? I knew I did not want the chronic cough and diseases caused by smoking to be my legacy for my 2 young sons. After 12 years of smoking, I quit. I broke the chain, never to smoke again. I have been impacted by a family tree of people who suffered chronic health conditions from smoking cigarettes. This has influenced my decision to draw attention to the tobacco industry and their tactics to entice each generation to begin smoking. They know many will become addicted to their products. Today, tobacco companies use youth-oriented messages and images to appeal to a new generation of smokers. Marketing campaigns are filled with adventurous sports, romantic and rebellious images of sex, partying, and risky behaviors that threaten the health of millions of young people. Every day, 80,000 to 100,000 young people worldwide become addicted to tobacco. It is interesting that the tobacco industry has developed marketing campaigns to target each generation. Now, they are capitalizing on the e-cigarette market by purchasing existing e-cigarette companies and also by manufacturing and marketing their own. I wonder why, don't you?